NBA this season, and according to the standings, it isn't close. Phoenix has some distance on the defending champion Bucks, who knocked off the Suns in 6 games last year. The team split their season series this year at 1 apiece. The Suns, meanwhile, are undefeated, 47-0 when leading after 3 quarters this season. How about them apples? Christopher Mad Dog Russo. How many great teams? Because it feels crowded right now in the East. It's more in the East. How many great teams are there in the NBA right now?
I don't think there's any myself when I consider great. Great.
Great.
I mean, they're good teams. Great teams.
You don't consider there's any? Like 0?
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. 0. Nare.
Steve, 0. Steve.
I'm going to give it. Let me do something with Phoenix for a second. Can I, man?
Okay.
Steve, you listening? Take your hand off your brow. There you go. Here you have it. All right. In 1978.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop.
This is a good one.
Let him go. Let him go. Let him go, Mom.
At least go
Let
in
him go.
the
Let him
80s.
go.
All right,
Let him go.
78, 79.
Let him go.
The Sonics. You know the Sonics.
Oh.
They had DJ,
Yes.
Gus Williams,
Downtown Freddie Brown, Jack Sikma,
Lonnie Shelton,
Johnny Marvin
Johnson.
Webster.
They lost the NBA final.
Yes, to the Washington Bullets.
In 7. The next year,
they
beat the Bullets in 5 games. They had the same team. Now, that team had Sikma, Shelton, as you just mentioned, DJ, and I bring up that team because they had great guards. DJ and Gus. You think this Suns team is as good as that team? Not a chance. Not a chance. And nobody in America is going to sit there and say, you know what? The 79 Supersonics is one of the great teams in the end. No, they're not. Good ball club in that era. But that team was not a great team, nor is his Suns team. They got a Hall of Fame backcourt. You get another great player on that team? Bridges isn't a great player. Crowder is not a great player. The center is overrated. I would never give him that max contract. Oh, he's overrated. Oh, come on. He's overrated. He got killed last year by Milwaukee. That is not a great band. That's a good team. Booker's great. Paul's great. It's a good team.
He got killed last year by Giannis. Not by Milwaukee. By Giannis.
Wasn't competitive.
Giannis is a 2-time league MVP.
He's a great player.
Defensive player of the year.
Great player.
A lethal in the open court. Okay, 6'11" with that wingspan, that agility.
A great team?
I didn't say they were a great team, but what I'm saying to you is this. I gotta stop you, okay? First of all, you try and get slick because you bring up some stuff from history, acting like you're the only one that knows something. That's all right. I remember the Bullets with Wes Unseld and Elvin Hayes and those boys, okay, and Dandridge and those guys. I got all of that, okay? We understand that. They were good teams. You want to say they weren't great teams? You got to take into account the process of evolution, how the game evolves, how things change. You got to go by that. You can't just ignore that. The game is different now than it was in the 70s. Mad Dog Russo,
you
the
judge
60s.
it by the Hall of Famers, the roster.
Time out. When you want to sit up there and make an argument that these teams weren't Bird, McHale, Parrish, and those boys. They weren't Magic, Kareem, Worthy, and those boys. They weren't Jordan, Pippen, and those boys. I feel you on that. But when you look at the team overall, and I throw Kobe and Shaq in there, I got it. I understand. But when you look at Booker, CP3 going to the Hall of Fame, you know.
I agree.
You know that. First ballot Hall of Fame.
He has not been great in the postseason in his history.
Excuse me. He was great last year.
He was terrible. In Game 5, he was awful.
He had a bad game.
He's not supposed to. He's a Hall of Famer in the finals.
Excuse me. The great Michael Jordan.
He won 6 titles, Stephen.
The great Michael Jordan was sitting on the bench when the Bulls made a run against the Portland Trail Blazers. You have bad games. You're human. Now, he came in and finished the deal, but the point is, before that, Phil Jackson had him on the bench. So stop acting like you can't have a bad game. We're talking overall, okay? Let's talk about great teams. You look at the Warriors. You want to bring up, is Klay Thompson going to the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Is Steph Curry going to the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
That's right. You got a backcourt.
2.
That's the greatest shooter. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, damn. 2 Hall of Famers. I mean, that's something to sneeze at? That's something to sneeze at? Are you kidding me?
You need 3 to be a great team.
What?
You need 3 Hall of Famers to be a great team. That's one of my definitions.
And you're the dude that holds guys accountable for joining forces for a big 3?
Oh, I hate that. I try to be crazy.
But you just finished saying you need 3.
Yeah, I think
you just said they need 3. But they go and get 3, and you got a problem with that. See, you all over the place, dog. You're all over the place.
Phoenix got 3 Hall of Famers.
No, they don't.
Thank you.
They got 2. They got 2.
I agree.
They got 2.
I agree.
And Booker, and see, to me, it's 2. It's 2. You don't need 3. You need 2. And especially when they play in the backcourt together, which Booker and CP3 does. DeAndre Ayton is no scrub. Mikal Bridges might be Defensive Player of the Year. Did you know that?
He's not a great player.
Excuse me.
Good player, not a great player.
Excuse me.
Is he better than Jamal Wilkes?
Time out. When we looked at Rodman, we didn't see a guy offensively that we thought was a great player, but rebounding and defense, we thought he was a great player. He went into the Hall of Fame. That is true.
That's debatable.
That is true. Okay, when we saw Bill Walton in Portland, said you want to bring up the 70s. Okay, was Maurice Lucas and Lionel Hollins and these guys great? No, but he was.
But the way they played the game was Hall of Fame.
Oh, so now it's that.
Come on.
So now we're getting into a style of game.
On Phoenix?
So now we're getting into a style of play.
Jay Crowder is a Hall of Famer?
No, he is not. No, he's not. But they're not scrubs. And what I'm trying to say, excuse me, what I'm trying to say to you is this. You said, I'm going by you. Because you see, Doggy, I don't just have the luxury of listening to you on Wednesday mornings.
You have an advantage.
No,
I hear you.
I listen to you all the time.
You got an advantage.
And so I'm listening to you, right? And I'm hearing you lament the big threes that are assembled. I'm hearing you lament the brand of play and all the style of play. But when these guys go out there, and they play team basketball. They pass the ball. They're selfless. They move without the basketball. They got a jump shot. They got a mid-range game. They finish at the basket. They're fundamentally sound. They're exceptionally well coached. Now you want to sit up there and say, where's the Hall of Famers? You keep moving the ball. You keep moving the ball, and you can't do that.
Phoenix is lucky they beat the Clippers last year. They had that play at the end with a tenth of a second to go when they got the basket.
Excuse me.
And they got killed by Milwaukee late in that series.
Did the Phoenix Suns?
Come on, the Phoenix Suns are a great team.
Did the Phoenix Suns win the Western Conference? And by the way, after winning the Western Conference, who's got the best record in basketball right now?
Let me ask you a question.
Excuse me, answer the question.
Stephen A.
Stephen A.
Excuse me, hold on. If the Suns were that great, why didn't you have them going into the season as winning the championship? Why were you saying the Warriors were a lock? You knew what the Suns were.
Because I believe and still believe that a healthy Warriors team are an assemblage of the greatest shooters I've ever seen in my life. And I believe they're shot makers, and that offsets anything you throw at people. It's not a knock against the Phoenix Suns. It's that I hold Steph Curry and a healthy Klay Thompson in this high regard. And Jordan Poole and the way that he has come on with Draymond. If Rodman's a Hall of Famer, by the way, Draymond's a Hall of Famer. I'm going to say it on national television. If Dennis Rodman, and I believe he's a Hall of Famer because I love Dennis Rodman. If Dennis Rodman is a Hall of Famer when he did nothing offensively, nothing. Okay,
right.
He didn't play make.
Oh, he did nothing.
Okay, no. He was a defender and a rebounder,
and an offensive rebounder,
and a Energizer Bunny. When I look at Draymond Green is a playmaker, a facilitator, and on defense, we know that the brothers are religiously a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. If Dennis Rodman is a Hall of Famer, Draymond Green going into the Hall of Fame, and he's a 3-time champion, okay? Let's not ignore that. I can't understand how you think you get to dismiss all of these
gold
people.
Medals.
Excuse me?
No, he's talking about, Molly's talking about Draymond Green. You might be right. That's debatable. I wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame myself.
Would you put Rodman there?
You know, he's a unique character.
Would you put Rodman
He's
there?
a young character.
I didn't ask for a dissertation. I asked you a question. Give me an answer.
And stop with the best record. Seattle with Peyton and Sean, and with Peyton, Gary Payton and Sean.
And who did they lose to? Kemp.
They lost to Denver. They won 65 games. They didn't get out of the first round. You can't go by regular season success. Go in the postseason.
Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and them lost in the first round to Ralph Sampson and Olajuwon in the first round.
Oh, it was a conference final.
Okay.
Conference. No, I gotta double check
81.
that. You might be right. In
81.
Okay.
I gotta get into a commercial break. I just want to be clear on one thing.
Sure.
You think that the Suns are a great team?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No way.
When we come back here on First
No
Take,
way.
New York is a Yankees town, but for how long is it possible that the Mets could take over? Stephen A. and Mad Dog debate that. I don't know how I feel about that.